there, Holly here, and today I want to go over what happens from the point of making an offer to closing. And I'm going to just go over it really fast, kind of fly by the seat of my pants, but tell you what to expect so you have a general idea of what can happen. And remember, no real estate transaction is the same. It's not one size fits all, but this is a very general overview of what to expect because, I think a lot of times people just don't know what to expect. And so then they're afraid. So let me just give you a general rundown. Once you make an offer, if your offer is accepted, you got to run to the bank. You got to get that deposit in. Generally, people will wire their money and this will go to the escrow company. And here, that's what we call opening escrow. It's the contract has been ratified and now the money is going to the neutral third party and they're going to hold on to the money that you're depositing through the transaction. Once we open escrow, you can expect a whole lot of paperwork to be in. The escrow company is going to be sending you escrow instructions. Along with some other information, there's going to be some forms for you to fill out. You want to make sure to do all of that as soon as you possibly can and get it back so the escrow company can work on whatever they need to work on. We're also going to be getting a copy of a title report so we can review and see what sort of title issues may or may not arise. There could be title liens, there could be clouds on title, there could be easements that you're not aware of, people on title that we're not aware of. So we just want to make sure that we have all of the information. So if there's anything that needs to be adjusted before closing, that needs to be resolved so that you're not inheriting some sort of big problem. We also get a copy of what's called a natural hazard disclosure report. And these reports tell us a lot of information about the area that oftentimes the sellers are not even aware of. So it's really good that we these reports, flood zones, fire zones, things that you may need to know for insurance purposes, for your own safety, for your own sense of well-being. So that's another report that we're going to be looking forward to. Seller disclosures, those are a big one. So these are the forms that there's a ton of boilerplate forms. I will preface it with that, but there are also forms where the sellers disclose what they know to be true about the property. They will tell us about any repairs, remodeling, modifications that they've made. If there's been any remodeling that has had permits or not had permits or any violations that we need to know about. Sellers are expected to disclose everything that they know to be true about the property. So while you need to also do your own research on some things, this is one of my favorite things to get during the transaction because oftentimes there's a lot in here that you wouldn't know. It's like more than meets the eye. In areas where there might be a homeowners association, we get a copy of the HOA rules and CC&Rs. So those are really good to look through. So you know all of the rules, what's expected, what sort of budget they have. Definitely want to read these, especially I find a lot of people have questions about parking and fees and maintenance schedules and all of that. So looking through all of that is a really good idea. You're also going to get a ton of paperwork and requests from your lender. So please stay on top of that. That is uber important. Definitely need to get that done to keep things going on time. So I want to back up a little bit. Once your offer is accepted and you are moving forward, that's when the clock starts. If you have a 30-day escrow, it's from that point that you have 30 days. And during this time, we get all of the documents to review and concurrently, 99.5% sure you're going to be doing inspections. We have all of these timelines to meet. So the contract defaults to 17 days to review everything and do your inspections. Your offer might be for more or less time, generally less. So you want to make sure you're on top of everything. You want to get that inspection scheduled ASAP. You want to review your documents ASAP. Because once the contingency period rolls around, once you hit day 17 or whatever that day is, you're supposed to sign off. And by signing off, you're saying that you're moving forward because you're satisfied with what you've reviewed. Now, if you wait to the last minute, you might not have enough time to review everything thoroughly. So definitely make sure to stay on top of that. And after you've done your inspections, and you might be doing multiple inspections because you might do one and then decide you need further evaluations. But after you do those, this is typically where if there's any health or safety items or unexpected issues, you can go back and a lot of buyers will try to negotiate with the seller for repairs or credits. And if they find that it doesn't appraise for the amount that's been offered, there might have to be adjustments made to your financing, or it could even prevent the sale from going forward if you can't qualify. So appraisals and inspections are really they're big items. You definitely need to stay on top of those. And of course, getting your loan fully approved that's the big one. So all of these things happen. And if it's a standard 17 days, default that we're looking at, that gets you through the first 2.5 weeks. So now you've removed your contingencies. You've committed to moving forward. Awesome. What happens next? Well, there's only about another less than 2 weeks left of escrow until it's time for you to get the keys. And so what happens during this time are a few things. One, within about 5 days of closing, there's typically a final walkthrough. Usually this is to make sure that any repairs that were going to be made are made. If there are no repairs being made, it's just a good opportunity to go back and make sure that the property hasn't been damaged in any way. If you're getting a loan, you're going to be signing loan documents, and you'll generally be signing those with escrow or a notary. And then it takes a little bit of time because the loan documents have to get back to the lender. And some lenders mail, some lenders do scans. And then the lender has to send their money to the escrow company, and you're bringing in any additional funds you might owe to actually finalize the sale. And then we hit the finish line. We can officially say escrow has closed when the county records it. So what happens generally is the lender gets their loan documents back, all signed by you, and then they go ahead and they release their money to escrow. You sent your money in. So now all of the money for the house is sitting in one spot. Escrow rings the title company and they request that the title company transfer ownership over to you. And then it's recorded. And guess what? You're the owner. So that's typically how the process works. It goes by lightning fast. Like, you think 17 or 30 days is a long time. And of course, when you're impatient, it is a long time. But when you're in the thick of it and you're, working and managing a house sale and doing all of this stuff for the lender, it truly goes by in the blink of an eye. And I also just wanted to say, I know a lot of people might think that being a buyer's agent is just, it's so much fun and it's so easy. And it is fun. Don't get me wrong. But easy? I don't know if I would say easy. There are so many things that we have to stay on top of and educate our clients on, because it's in their best interest. And our job is to represent their best interests. So we have to stay on top of all of these timelines, make sure everybody's communicating with one another, set up all of the inspections, review all of the paperwork, give good guidance on everything, make sure our clients have the resources that they need, explain everything. There is so much that goes into one little transaction. I literally have a spreadsheet of over 100 items that I do from the start of the home buying process and going through the escrow. That has to be done. You have to check off all those boxes for everybody. And like I said, it's not one size fits all, but more or less all of those steps are going to be checked. And sometimes there's even more, because we always come across something sometimes that you're not expecting. So we have to be up to speed on all of the local guidelines and rules and really be able to help and educate our clients. And that's what I love doing. And that's why I do these videos. So anyway, that's your quick 10-minute little explanation of what happens from making an offer to closing. I hope to see you at the finish line. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and message me if you want any additional information or to work with me.